animal place organized the whole project, and I was the contact for all of the emails that went back and forth. We were first contacted about the whole project back in July, and so it just took a really long time to coordinate the plane and coordinate all the sanctuaries, indicating how many birds they could take, and then they had to be blood tested for salmonella. We all had to look into interstate guidelines for bringing birds across state lines. So it was a lot of work, and it just took a long time for it to all come together. We drove to New York the day before, stayed over, and in the morning we got up and we went to Farm Sanctuary, and the birds were already there. They had already been outside roaming free. They had their health checks, so we just, with the help of their volunteers and staff, we loaded them all into the poultry crates and then loaded them into the van, and then got on the road. Every time we would turn around and look in the back of the van and see the birds, we would think about how sad it was that that they're coming from that circumstance. It was great that they're going to our sanctuary at SASHA Farm, where they're going to have their freedom, but it's sad that up until that point they had lived a really sad life at the factory farm. When we got to SASHA Farm, it was 8:30 in the evening and it was dark out, but we had a team of volunteers ready, waiting to help us unload each bird and delouse all the birds and get them settled into their new barn.
You gotta take this off.
Oh, those. Pretty bird after the food. Pretty bird.
How many we got done? How many we got done quickly?
We got 50 done. We're halfway there.
Okay.
I'm gonna just get a couple pictures. Oh, you're pretty fat. You're a plump girl. Oh, you look in good shape. She's in great shape.
See, I wasn't crazy when I said, sure, we'll take 100 birds.
We're drinking these?
Yeah. Someone called this week, he's got one chicken, a white chicken, he said, that's still laying, and could he bring it? And I thought, what's one more? Sure, why not? You know. All the sanctuaries are taking, you know, multiples of 100 pretty much. There were a few sanctuaries taking 50 or maybe just 15. But I thought 100 was pretty much what we could handle in the space that we had available. We could have put in more, I think, but 100's good. 100's good. Good for them. And they need some time to recover on their own. They have been crammed up for so long in cages that they have to learn to walk around and get their space rights and how to find food and get a little sunlight on them. Their combs are all flopped over because they've lacked sunlight for so long. Hopefully they will come back up when they get a lot of sunlight on them, get some more water. It could be a bit of dehydration and just the fact that in general they're not as healthy as they should be. They're only 2 years old. If you look at them, they look a lot older, but they're really quite young. Chicken can live 10, 12 years. It's unlikely that these will because they've been forced to lay eggs daily, and they keep lights on in these places so that they think it's summer all year long and lay eggs daily, and that really depletes their calcium, so their bones get very fragile. They're bred to lay eggs, not to have much strength or a lot of muscle mass, so when they stop laying eggs they're pretty much done for, especially in a factory situation. They're done for. We unloaded everybody one by one and deloused them before we put them in the building. We had volunteers helping us do that. And we just kind of sat around and enjoyed them for a while and watched them hop up on us and walk around and inspect their new home. It was kind of fun to see, just to kind of watch them every day, you know. They're happy. I think, if I could read their minds, I think they're much happier. than they were. They'd have to be. They'd be dead birds by now if they weren't here. I don't think they're crowding as much as they did that first night. They piled on each other pretty badly. I think they're getting a little bit better about that. They don't seem to be as afraid to be outside. The first time it rained on them, they got a little scared. They all ran in the barn right away. They couldn't quite figure that out, what that water was coming out of the sky. But I think they're used to it now. They adapt pretty quickly. Luckily for them, they do adapt.
What do you think, Bonnie?
We did it. This is what it's all about. These are some sweet, sweet, sweet animals. Look at them. Yep, I'm pretty happy with this.